And we are back. Right. Two words, long day. I've had one. And all I want to concentrate on right now is getting my workout done. We did upper yesterday to try and test out as much stuff as we could before signing up for the gym and making this our new gym. And today I want to do all the leg stuff. I'm not going to do too much heavy pulling because obviously I did a lot of lat stuff yesterday, and we are going to go for all the new shiny equipment first. There's a pendulum squat here and a nice hack squat, and I just kind of want to see how they go and how they move. Spoiler alert, they moved absolutely fantastic. But first, calves. And you know me, I do my 3 to 4 sets of calves at the start of every single leg session, and this is no different. Well, actually there is a difference. This calf machine is probably the best I've ever been on and has a nice heavy stack, which I unfortunately have already maxed out. I think it is time to get a gym pin at this point because I can't be going to new gyms and doing this to their machines. Anyway, the session started off really good with these calf raises, and I took my time with them to get into them, warmed up really well, and I played around with my couple of warm-up sets. I was in my shoes initially, and then I was really happy that I bought my slides because the area where you put your foot has tons of knurling or really good grip, but my feet do not enjoy being on that surface. I injured the balls of my feet playing rugby a couple of times, and there's like a raised area on the bottom of my foot which does not agree with any of these surfaces. So I've got to do my calf raises in something a little bit softer. That's why you've seen me use a yoga mat folded up before. But yeah, this is going to be a very condensed calf raise section. I'm going to chop up the clips, and you're not going to see full sets here. It's just basically serving as evidence of me doing the calf raises, not just me saying I do them. Now, for somebody with smaller calves than myself, or that can identify their calves as being a weak point, you need to be doing more for them. It's just simple as load them heavy, full range of motion, and do them with enough frequency, and they will grow, as long as you're eating appropriately as well. They are not a difficult thing to make grow. It's just all about intent and how you order your workouts. Do the work, and you will get the results. Next up, we had RDLs. I, in hindsight, feel like I should have gone way heavier on these. I don't know why I didn't get 5 plates on there. I definitely should have, though, because this was well within my working sets. And it is on a Smith machine, not free weight. And I'm blessed to have a Smith machine which can go all the way to the floor instead of the one that was in my old gym, which only went up to my knees, really. Or sorry, as low as my knees. And the fact that I don't have to get a platform in order to do these Smith machine RDLs is fantastic. Now, the next best option would be if I could attach a lat pull down bar, a wide grip bar to the belt squat that we've got available to us. Now, I've seen Jordan Peters do these a couple of times on his Instagram, and it looks like you get a fantastic range of motion with really good engagement. So I would love to be able to try that out. Maybe I get my own carabiner clip and a thin wide grip lat pull down bar and give it a go. But for the time being, these will do, and I'm getting tons of good hamstring engagement and a lot of lower back engagement there. That being the focus for this session, but you can vary your RDLs and your stiff leg deadlifts to hit certain parts, but it's typically just a movement you can load super heavy to absolutely hammer your entire posterior chain. Now, these sets were really, really difficult towards the end. I was gassing out a little bit. I think my carbs coming down this week was a good move in order to get me slightly leaner and tighten up my cut, but my sessions are suffering just a touch, and maybe it's a case of sleep on this occasion as well, because I didn't sleep fantastically the night before either. However, it's down to me in order to make this session as good as it can be, and I can't be blaming outside circumstances or, for example, the stuff that made this day in particular a very long day. So you've got to take ownership of your sessions and really push hard sometimes, even though things might not be going your way. If stuff doesn't go your way sometimes, you still got to find a way around it. And it's almost like you're just trying to find excuses when that happens. Of course, some stuff in life is really, really deep and doesn't allow you to just not look at it or not acknowledge it. But when you can, that was the case for me on this day, you should be able to do that. And you should do that.
in order to get the thing that you ultimately want in the end. Now, glute bridges, something you guys have never seen me do. No one has ever seen me do in my old gym. These have not been in the arsenal of exercises for not a couple of years, probably close to 5 years now. I do not hit my glutes. For anybody who knows me in real life, you've probably seen my cakes, and they are not small. I definitely have something which a lot of people work their hearts out for, but I just happen to have won the lottery and been blessed with a bunda that absolutely makes shopping for trousers a nightmare. Why am I doing them this session though? Because I wanted to try out the kit. And as I get leaner, I get more room in my trousers. And that means I can see my glutes. And in my opinion right now, they have a little bit of growing they could do. It's just that my body decides to deposit a lot of fat there, and filling out trousers is no chore for me. I tell most of my friends that I'm built like a butternut squash, and that means I'm built bottom heavy, and I'm not proud of it. But this exercise felt great. The platform was nice and grippy. There was plenty of room for plates, so anybody who's way stronger than me on glute bridges is going to have fun with that one. Straight after those glute bridges, we went around the corner to the pendulum squat, which I have only ever used a handful of times before this, and now that I've got one in my gym, I'm going to be rinsing it whenever it's available, of course. It felt great on the descent. However, when I got into the hole, it was really, really difficult to get out of there. It is humbling. Plenty of people have told me that the pendulum squat is humbling, but I can't remember it being this difficult the last time I did it. It's just going to be another thing I want to get really strong at, and I want to make sure that I keep progressively overloading and improving at. It's just another thing that I want to get better at now. It's there, and I'm hungry for it. It's not the only thing in my crosshairs though, because there are plenty of other leg machines and classics which I don't want to go away from, but I definitely want to get better at a few things and get stronger on a few machines. I'd say pendulum squat is probably top 2 or top 3 in my list of things I want to get really strong at, but I'm yet to try out the other machines and see which ones really work best with me and my structure. Because my structure is long femurs with a short torso, not the best for squat patterns. So keeping an upright torso is not typically the easiest thing to do. I'll tell you what though, one thing that makes keeping upright way easier is a belt squat. And not even 3 meters away, near the pendulum squat, we've got one right here. Now, there's very little to figure out with this, but it's still a little different from the last time I tried them, and I need to dial in my form a little bit, figure out how to standardize it and make sure I'm doing it the same way every single time, so I'm hitting the exact same muscles every single time and progressively overloading correctly. Because if you're doing an exercise different ways every single time you do it, you can't really track it or execute it properly every single time, because if there's constantly changing variables and the weight is going up or down, you don't know what's making that change happen. Is it you losing muscle? Is it you gaining muscle? Or is it just that your form was a little bit different that day? So over the coming weeks, you're going to see me doing these exercises and doing sets with a slight variation every single time, because I need to find my groove. But as soon as that's done, I will have my way nailed down, making sure I'm executing the exercise the way it should be for the intended purpose. Now, one thing I'm definitely not used to on this machine is the handle placement, and you probably see my hands sliding up and down and going side to side there, but I'm definitely not used to them being this far away from me. I feel like they should be slightly closer. Maybe next time I'll just load up the bar a little bit more heavily and take a step forward. I know I'll need to tighten up my form a little bit and make sure I'm well fed and order the workout a little bit differently so that I can move that extra weight. Now, this set had me gasping for air and had me thinking maybe I should have started with this before my pendulum squats, but we've got to remember how heavy those pendulum squats felt with just 3 plates on them. Straight after those belt squats, we went into the Panatta leg extension, which felt super smooth. In my head, this is the Ferrari of gym equipment, and they make some fantastic stuff. I've tried some stuff at a couple of other bodybuilding style gyms in Brighton, and this company makes the best ones, in my opinion. And we're lucky to have a few Panatta pieces in Kings Brighton. Now, I didn't go too heavy on these sets because my quads felt fried, But my only concern going forward is how much weight I can put on that pin on the side, because it didn't seem to have too much room. However, there is another leg extension machine near the windows where I was doing those calf raises at the beginning of the video, and it does do the job. However, the range of motion is not as good as this machine here. So maybe we can expand the pin or ask the gym owners and managers to get an extension, or maybe I get my own gym pin and see how that works on this machine. With every gym comes compromises, and sometimes you just have to work stuff out. Not every bit of kit is going to be perfect for you, or every situation be perfect for you. So you're going to have to adapt and make things work for you when you can. On this occasion, I know for a fact going forward that this might not be heavy enough for me. So looking forward, I'm already thinking of solutions where these problems might crop up. But before spending money on it, I'm going to try and figure out a way of ordering my workouts so that my quads can get taxed as much as possible, maximizing growth without having to spend too much money on extra bits and stuff to carry around. Following those leg extensions, I jumped on the ab crunch machine, and this was very foreign to me. It does not feel anything like that cable crunch that I did at the gym that I was previously at, and it feels good, but in a different way to the cable crunches. It's definitely a more upper ab focused machine, not a whole rectus abdominis hitting item. And here's me trying to play around and experiment a little bit and see how I could get more of my abs to be engaged. But this didn't really work out too well, so I just ended up putting my feet back up. I think my solution here might be just to go on the standing cable stack or the cable area and just do my old cable crunches. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a great exercise, but I think it's not hitting the abs or my abs in the way that I'd like. Now, the name of the game is hypertrophy, not sensations, and I know limiting my training to feeling good and sensations is not the best way of going about things, but on this occasion, it's tried and tested. And like usual, I finished the session with a little pose down with my mate Henry in the powerlifting room. There is not a posing room in this gym just yet, but this will have to do for the time being. I'm not going to be posing down every single session anymore because there's no real value in it. I'm not seeing enough of a change between these sessions where I am checking my physique. However, on this occasion, I just wanted to do a couple of poses because I had a bit more extra room and a little bit more distance from the mirror. I feel like I look okay for this stage of my cut. 5 weeks in, my back's probably my strongest body part at the moment, and I'm happy with it. I do need to keep stripping the fat off so other parts of my body do get the little bits of detail in them that they need. And this is need in terms of I would like for them to have. I'm not jumping on stage anytime soon. Maybe next year after a short gaining phase. But for this mini cut, I would just want to use it as a reset and see what's underneath all this stuff that I've been trying to build over the last couple of years. Last year's cut left me at 103 and I want to get to 99 if possible. So let's see how that goes.
Okay, so from posing downstairs to posing upstairs, this is our new posing spot, I think, whenever there's no classes in here. So, session went well. We are happy with how everything is moving, especially given that we went really hard yesterday, trying to get used to everything. Yeah, it's just, I did end up doing a lot more volume and a lot more sets than I was expecting to do here today, trying to figure out what the movements were like, what the machines were like, what settings I like on each movement that I was doing. And we're not even done with touching everything yet. We just know not to be too greedy with how much we want to do in a session today, because I would have just burnt myself out. It is late in the afternoon, way later than I want it to be, but so be it, we're having fun. Well, I know for a fact that I'm having fun, so we are going to rest tomorrow and then get back to this on Sunday. This is what the physique is currently looking like. Unpumped upper, not so pumped legs. The carbs are not there at this point in the cut, but we've had a little bit of time between the end of our session and now. Just chatted to a few people, caught up with a few mates, tried a few bits out around the gym. But yeah,
this is what we're looking like, and I'm happy with where we're at, but I think I need to be a little bit more aggressive with what I'm tuning in now. This I've been holding on to this for a little bit too long now, so I think the carbs need to come down. There's not too much more room for extra cardio at the moment, so the food first, and then we'll adjust for the cardio where and if we've got time. But yeah, like I said, it's been a long day, even before this gym session, so we're gonna get back home, do some work, and get on with our day. And I'll see you guys next time.